I'd like to call the Monday, October 10th meeting of the Blue Springs Planning Commission to order. If I could please ask everyone to rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome this evening to everyone as well as those at home watching us. I'd like to run through tonight's agenda. First off, we'll have the consent agenda. And then we'll have a public hearing for rezoning of the Woodlands at Chapman Farms. I have a preliminary plat for the Woodlands at Chapman Farms, preliminary plat Ward Properties, a final plat Ward Properties, then a preliminary plat for the Blue Springs Dollar General, final plat for Blue Springs Dollar General, other business, and then adjourn. So with that, I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Peel.
I move that the minutes from the September 26th Planning Commission meeting be approved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Fairbanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Before I get into the public hearing, I will just run through the procedure real quick. I'll open the public hearing. I will call on the city attorney for exhibits. Staff will make comments. The applicant will be given an opportunity to make their presentation. Then I'll ask for witnesses in favor, witnesses opposed. I'll have questions and general discussion among the commissioners, and then I will close the public hearing and we will consider it for a recommendation. So with that, I am going to reopen the public hearing for the rezoning RZ-09-16-5466 Woodlands at Chapman Farms. And I would ask our city attorney for the for the exhibits.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The city has 8 exhibits for case RZ-09-165466. Those exhibits are Exhibit 1, the staff report with attachments. Exhibit 2, the affidavit of publication in the Examiner on September 10th, 2016. Exhibit 3 is the application with attachments. Exhibit 4 is the 185-foot notification map. Exhibit 5 is the names and addresses of property owners within 185 feet of the site. Exhibit 6 is a copy of a letter sent to the property owners. Exhibit 7 is Title IV Land Use Section Blue Springs Code of Ordinances by reference. And Exhibit 8 is the 2014 Comprehensive Plan by reference. Those are the city's exhibits.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Jury is going to make the staff presentation this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner and Planning Commission. Before you have a request for rezoning an 151-acre site generally located on the eastern side of Southwest 7 Highway and south of Southwest Wyatt Road. And the current zoning is general business, CB, and also SF7. The applicant is requesting to change this zoning from the current zoning to the proposed zoning of GB, MF14, and SF7, which is general business, moderate density, multifamily, and single family districts. There's approximately I'll go over the acreages of this proposed rezoning. There's 123.9 acres of single-family area, 18.5 plus or minus acres of multifamily area, as well as 8.7 acres of commercial in the general business area. The applicant is proposing, as far as we're moving forward currently, 332 residential single-family lots, as well as 4 tracks along 7 Highway that will house 2 tracks of general business and 2 multifamily tracks that are yet to be determined on what that will look like. That'll will be determined at a later date. But as for this goes, the uses of the zoned areas, I'll sort of go over some of the potential uses that could go in the general business, multifamily, and single family areas. But the GB zoning is our general commercial zoning that allows everything from offices, retail, restaurants, animal care, and the like, as you can see on the table here on page 3 of the staff report. This is our normal general commercial zoning that most general businesses are allowed in this zoning. As for the SF7 and MF14 zones, the SF7 primarily allows detached housing. The MF14 zone allows detached housing as well as semi and attached housing, and also multifamily housing. The rezoning request does meet the general intent of the comprehensive plan and also the specific area plan for this neighborhood for the southern portion of Blue Springs. So with the specific area plan, there was a couple, and this figure 1 shown above, there's 3 different types of types of areas that were called out in the specific plan. The green area is natural areas. The beigey, tan, salmon pink, whatever color that is exactly, is the mixed density neighborhood area, and the purple area in the southwest corner of the site was retail dominant mixed use. The proposal along 7 Highway does have a mixed density of single family, or mixed density of multifamily and general commercial, as well as single family to the eastern portion of the site. And it does, the proposed plan as of now for the preliminary plat, which you'll hear at a later date, does call out some areas that are the natural areas and does heed those and tries to preserve those natural areas as best as possible. With that, staff does recommend approval of the rezoning application.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Jury? Doesn't look like it. Thank you. Mr. Frost, would you like to make a presentation? If you could come forward, state your name for the record, your address, and be sworn in, please.
Okay. Robert Frost, 8619 South 7 Highway.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this case will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do. Yes. My wife and I have owned the property for in excess of 25 years. We presently live on the property now. We live in a single-family house. About 10 years ago, when the Chapman Farms area started, we had a suitor come in and wanted to buy our property. And at that point, they had a very aggressive layout for it, and they went ahead and went through rezoning and some other things. And when they did that, the property was rezoned at zonings we don't have now. So when we did that back way in 10 years ago, the current zoning is on it right now. There's 26% of it is zoned for GB, and we're asking to bring that number down to 6%, which is quite a bit less. Where 43% of this property was zoned for CB, a city business zoning that you don't have anymore. You took that away when you did your comprehensive plan. With that, we're taking that property and turning most of it, 31% into 31% before was in single family. Now we have 82% of the property in single family. And then the MF14 has gone to 12% of the property, the low density multifamily. We haven't any suitors for the front part of it right now. There's a lot of commercial property in Blue Springs along 7 Highway. We hope to entice somebody to come out and use that. The housing that we're proposing to put in on a single family will be start out base size at 1,400 feet and go up from that. I have a couple local builders that are interested in working on that, and that's why we're rezoning at that classification. Their plans will be mostly from 1,450, 1,500 feet up to 2,600, 2,800 feet on the first floor. and we will hold to that. The lots that we're proposing to put in for single-family will be anywhere from 8,000 feet up to 14,000 feet. There's a lot of variety in the size of lots, so we'll have good mixed area. So I think it's going to be a good area to have in the neighborhood out there. There's a lot of trees on it now, some natural things that are good. We're going to try and preserve all we can with the development.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Frost?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Peel.
Mr. Frost, what's your plan for the multifamily? Typically, it's for that kind of setup, there's a buffer, if you will, of duplexes along.
Right now, I don't have any set plans on the multifamily. There's two parcels. The way it's divided out in the front, there's a parcel B and C, I believe. It's kind of hard to see. There's a 7 and an 8 acre tract that are separated from each other. My intent is to look for someone to come in, or myself, to build some age-restricted housing on one of those tracts of ground, either 7 or 8 acres, in a cluster type affair, or a single or multi or a tri, housing situation. Have it pretty well be a maintenance provided and all contained. The multifamily, we have not anyone on that. I've had a lot of inquiries about it, but for me to make that a multifamily, it has to be a very high quality units to go in next to the single family houses that we're going to put in to protect our homeowners.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Mr. Frost? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody that would like to speak in favor? Seeing none, is there anybody that would like to speak in opposition? All right, I will bring it back up here for comments, questions on the record from the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Peel?
I'd like to ask staff if any of the notification letters were returned and had any negative aspect to approving this reason.
No returned.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, seeing none, I am going to close the public hearing. And I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Billups.
I would move for approval of RZ 09165466, rezoning of the woodlands at Chapman Farms.
All right,
Second.
I have a motion. I have a second from Commissioner Peel. This will be a roll call vote.
Planning Commissioner Cradoff.
Aye.
Commissioner Sanders.
Aye.
Commissioner Fairbanks.
Aye.
Commissioner Peel.
Aye.
Commissioner Duhan.
Aye.
Commissioner Billups.
Aye.
Chairman Graham.
Aye. Motion carries. We will send that recommendation to the City Council on their October 17th meeting with our recommendation. Next item on the agenda was the preliminary plat for Woodlands at Chapman Farms. The applicant has requested that to be continued to the October 24th meeting. I would entertain a motion to continue that.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman.
Motion from Commissioner Peel,
Second.
second from Commissioner Billups. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That will be continued to our October 24th meeting. Next two items on the agenda, items 4 and 5, are a preliminary plat and a final plat for Ward Properties. We're going to hear those together and then consider them separately. And Mr. Wright is going to make that presentation.
Yep. Thank you, Chairman Graham and Commissioners. Before you are two requests this evening for a preliminary and a final plat for Ward Properties, which is located at 1600 and 1700 Southwest 40 Highway. This is a two-lot subdivision on approximately 1.81 acres. This is an existing developed site that it does include 2 office buildings with the associated parking, and it is currently zoned GB General Business. On the preliminary plat as well as the final plat, there will be a cross-access provided for the shared access drive to 40 Highway. And then the only infrastructure improvement that is required with the platting process at this time is the 5-foot sidewalk along 40 Highway. The applicant is already working with MoDOT on the permitting of that, and the applicant is also working with a contractor on possibly getting the sidewalk installed this week. The sidewalk is installed, or is required to be installed prior to approval of the final plat by the City Council. Landscape easements have also been shown on the final plat. However, those are not required to be installed until at a future date whenever the property is either redeveloped or a change of use occurs on the site. And staff does recommend approval of both the preliminary plat and the final plat, subject to the 3 conditions in the staff report. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Wright? Commissioner Fairbanks?
Are they going to tear down these buildings and rebuild, or is it just separating the two?
No, right now the properties are not platted. And so usually it's, if you're trying to sell the property, I don't know what their intents are, but if you wanted to sell a property, sell them off individually, they would need to be platted. So they're just platting that to make it easier if in the future they decide to sell off one or both of the parcels.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Wright? All right, thank you. And is the applicant present this evening?
I'm here for Mr. Ward.
Okay, would you like to make a presentation? Anything to add?
No.
Okay. Any questions of the applicant? All right. So we'll consider item 4, the preliminary plat. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Billups.
I would move for approval of PP 09165498, Ward Properties preliminary plat with 3 staff recommendations.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second from Commissioner Fairbanks. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 5,
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Billups.
I would also move for approval of the final plat, PF 09165499, on Ward Properties with 3 staff recommendations.
I second.
Commissioner Cranoff was the second on that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries as well. That will be sent to the October 17th City Council meeting for their consideration. Next 2 items on the agenda are the item 6 and 7 preliminary plat and final plat for Dollar General. We'll again hear those together and then consider those separately, and Mr. Jury is going to make that presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Planning Commissioners. Before you have the Dollar General Blue Springs plat for the proposed Dollar General going in this location. It's approximately 0.91 acres, and it's located in the southeast corner of 40 Highway and 19th Street. You've heard this before at the previous Planning Commission, the site plan design review, and they did request a reduction in the landscape buffers, and so that will be reflected in the final plat landscape easements. But beyond that, it's pretty straightforward final plat. They're proposing the approximately, I think, 7,000 or 8,000 square foot building, and approximately 30 or so parking spaces. But for the final plat, there's the landscape easements that were reduced. I'll pull that up. To the north, it remains the 15-foot, but to the west, the 11-foot landscape easement and the 6-foot landscape easement to the south were reduced from last Planning Commission as approved by the Planning Commission. There's also a drainage easement on this plat, and they will be required to provide a development and maintenance agreement that will be approved and accepted by City Council. So with that, the staff does recommend the approval of this preliminary and final plat with 5 staff recommendations.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Jury? Commissioner Duhan.
I have one. With this new one going in, is that going to have any effect on the one on North 7?
I do not know.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Commissioner Sanders.
I apologize, I was not at the last meeting. Could you explain why we are willing to reduce the landscape buffer?
Yes. At the last meeting, they requested a reduction in the landscape buffers because of the size of the site. They are required 15-foot landscape buffer on the north, a 15 on the west side, as well as a 25 on the south, which I think comprised of approximately 30 or so % of the site. And if buffers are required for more than 10% of the site, then they can ask for a reduction if Planning Commission approves and that's a UDC code exception that it allows. So with that, they did request a reduction, and their new buffer requirements cover 18% of the site. So that was approved last Planning Commission, and so this reflects those.
Thank you.
That approval.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Billups.
Has there been any change in the discussions on the cross-access to the muffler shop next door?
From last I heard that they are talking to them, and I think Meineke is willing, but I don't think they have signed anything in writing yet. But we can't require any private agreements as part of this. Only what is on their site. We can only require easements, cross-access easements on Dollar General's site in particular. We can't require anything from Meineke.
So we can't require Dollar General to have one in place when Meineke agrees to it, or?
Can you restate that? Sorry.
We can't require, because I know we've done this before, it seems like anyway, we require the applicant to put the cross-access in place, and then, whether or not the other side chooses to agree to that as well.
They do have the one access along 19th Street, and that was adequate for us. I think it'd just be nice if there was a second access.
It would be very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
For whatever access or exit off of 40 or onto 40 and.
So if I might defer to the city attorney if we can require that or not, but if we do want to add that, that is not part of the recommendations from staff as
That's
of
right,
now.
and the applicant that hasn't had probably notice of that, and if you wanted to add that, you might want to table this.
I don't want to table it for something like that, no. I just would like to see it at some point in the future.
I think that would be a good discussion with staff, whether you'd like to just see that on all of these things that come forward, whether there would be a point where lots could connect off of the street system. I think that's a very good discussion to have, so that staff has some guidance on what they should be requiring from people.
It seems in the past we've had those on a lot of these plats to require at least the access on the applicant side, even if there wasn't one on the other side. So anyway, like I said, that's not discussion for right now. That's just for future.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Jury? All right, thank you. And unless you're here for this one as well, I don't believe the applicant is here this evening. So I would entertain a motion if someone was so inclined to make one.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Field.
I would like to keep the public meeting open, but have a 1-minute recess to discuss with staff a documentation issue that I need some consultation on.
There isn't a public hearing right now.
We're not in a public hearing right now, no. Just a 5-10 minute recess?
Doesn't need to be that long, just a minute or so.
Okay. Should I declare a recess?
You're the chair.
Okay.
Go into recess for a few minutes.
Okay. We stand in recess for
Just a few minutes.
a couple minutes. We're back. Any further questions for Mr. Jury? All right, seeing none. We'll consider item 6, the preliminary plat. If someone would want to make a motion, I would entertain one.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Peel?
I move that preliminary plat PP 09165501 with the 5 conditions be approved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Duhon. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, final plat for Blue Springs Dollar General. I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Peel?
I move that final plat PF 09165502 be approved with the 5 conditions.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Fairbanks. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That recommendation will be sent to the October 17th meeting of the City Council for their consideration. Item 8 is other business. Anything?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last week,
Mr. Allen?
staff, which included myself along with Jim Hawley and Planning Commissioner Fairbanks, attended the annual state planning conference down in Springfield. Jim and I gave kind of led a session, gave a presentation with our comp plan and UDC consultant, Chris Brewster, to talk about our comp plan and UDC content and process. And I think it was well received. That was last Thursday. And certainly I'll defer to Commissioner Fairbanks to give her assessment of the conference.
There we go. I thought it was very beneficial to attend. There were a lot of presentations from various locations within the state. A lot from Springfield about what they're doing with some of their water retention basins, what Kansas City is doing along their Troost Avenue corridor to get community involvement in proposed changes that they have for that redevelopment. There was a section on different funding, federal funding opportunities that we might want to take advantage of. So I thought it was very beneficial.
Perfect. Any questions from anyone? All right, thank you. Any other business?
No, sir, other than Ms. Fedora wants to mention what may be on the agenda for next time. If we have that, I was looking for it in front of me and I do not have it, so.
We have Ward Properties, and I believe that is it. Oh, Indigo Hills. I apologize. There's 2 items on the agenda.
Okay.
Any public hearings?
No.
No public hearings.
So just a smaller agenda,
Yes.
lighter agenda like tonight, so.
All right. Commissioner Phillips?
I would like to remind everyone that a week from today is the annual downtown chili lunch. So if you need tickets for that, good time, good fellowship. Tickets are $8 in advance, $10 at the door. I do not have any tickets with me, but I can certainly get a hold of some. They're available at most of the downtown merchants.
Okay, super. Any other business to bring forward? Seeing none, our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 24th. I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Phillips.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Peel. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.